All right, what's going on, everybody? I just checked out the first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen on Crunchyroll, and I'm going to give you guys my first impressions. So here's the thing: I wasn't really looking forward to this. I saw the trailer for this a week ago. I saw the comments in the comment section, and usually when a new show comes out and people have read the manga, there's always, every once in a while, there's always these shows that, people hype up and everything like that. And this seemed to be the case. This seemed to be the case with this one. People are just hyping this thing up. And here's the thing: there's a lot of shows that get hyped up, and like my issue with a lot of people that be hyping a lot of these shows that they get adapted from manga or light novels or whatever. My thing is, if you gonna hype something up, that joint better be good, man. Like, hype it up because it's good. Don't hype it up just because you like it. It's okay if you like it, but don't hype it up like this joint. This first episode. So let me go ahead and get into this, cause here's the thing: I saw that first trailer, and this show is something that when I saw the trailer, I was not impressed by it, and I wanted to be fair. I really wanted to be fair going into this, because here's the thing: I'm not going to judge the entire series based off of one episode. That would be stupid. Like I said, this is going to be my first impressions for this. But just judging off the trailer, I had the same reaction to this trailer. Ironically, I had the same reaction to this trailer that I had with God of High School. It just looked meh. It just looked very, very middle of the road. It didn't look like it was going to be bad per se. But just like God of High School, it just did not look that interesting to me personally. Don't take offense to that. I'm just saying. So like going into this, and ironically I mentioned God of High School, I believe that this show is also animated by the same studio, Studio MAPPA. I don't well, I think it's pronounced Mappa. Forgive me. Studio Mappa. Those are the guys that did God of High School. They did this, and I think they also do Attack on Titan. And I'll give the show credit. So just to give it credit, I watched the opening. When I saw the opening, I'm like, okay, the animation looks good. I mean, not just for the opening, I would say like in general so far, I think the animation looks good. My main complaint, I guess, with this, and I'll even say with God of High School, just what I saw based on just the trailers of God of High School, and then when I saw the trailer of this show, and then just watching the show now, it's like it's more of the art style. I don't know, it's the art style with this show. I'd say the character designs don't look as, I don't want to say generic, but they don't look as bad. Well, not as bad, but they don't look as, okay, I'll just go with generic. They don't look as generic as God of High Schools, but that's really not on, that's kind of a case by case basis with that thing. You're either gonna, that's kind of personal preference. You're either gonna like the character designs or not. And I could say this with just to give another compliment to the show, at least the main protagonist, I do think that his character design looks good. At least they didn't go for just a generic blonde, blonde hair, blonde spiky hair. So I'm glad that they didn't go with that. And then something else that I can actually say before I kind of get into this thing. I do like how they sort of set up, because this is something that they do with a lot of these shonen series. With the main protagonist, there's always usually, and this is kind of I guess you would say kind of a trope or something, but it's something that's common to the shonen genre, where they make it so that the main character, there's this mysterious thing about this main character that he might be, for example, strangely powerful. He might have like a hidden power inside. And I think that they kind of handled this kind of like laying the seeds for, I guess, whatever mystery they're gonna have later on. I think they handled that well, because there's this part in the episode where one of the teachers, they want the main character Itadori, they want him to join the what was it, the track team. They wanted him to join the track team, and they're showing off how athletic he is, how strong, how abnormally, well, almost abnormally strong he is. Like, he's able to just break records and stuff. And I thought that this was a pretty decent way of just introducing, just kind of introducing how, just how capable he is, physically. And I think another thing that I can also kind of give the show, the first episode credit for. So in this first episode, and I'm not even gonna avoid spoilers here. So, if you haven't seen the episode, go watch the episode. But something else that I'll even say they did well. This guy's grandfather who dies in the episode, like, his death is just like really abrupt. Wait, that might not be the right word to use there, but it happened so suddenly, and you just, like, I thought that they handled that well too. Other than that, I'm trying to think, are there any other things that I kind of could give some points to the series, or to this episode rather, for? I think, like, other than that, so they did introduce, there was this other character. I don't think they ever said his name. I would have to look it up. But there's this other character, so, like, in the episode, there's this other character who's looking for this cursed object. And it turns out that Itadori and two of the other members of the occult club, apparently they got a hold of this cursed object, and this guy's looking for it. And this object is dangerous because, these cursed objects, these curses, they end up killing a bunch of people. And basically the show lays out, and that's another thing that I can also, I guess that's another thing I'll give it credit for, is that it tries to lay out a lot of the lore, a lot of, how this world works, because they're saying that, okay, there's a lot of deaths in Japan, and a lot of it comes from curses. And these curses, a lot of it has to do with a lot of the hatred, a lot of, like, the animosity, a lot of the, like, negative emotions. That kind of ties in with, like, the curses and stuff. And basically how these schools are protecting against that. They use a cursed object as a talisman, and unfortunately Itadori and his friends, they end up taking this object, and unwittingly they end up, unleashing this curse. His friends end up unleashing this curse, and then Itadori and this other guy, by the end of the episode, they're fighting these cursed monsters, these little strange monsters. And I'll say this, another positive for the episode, I will say that, the monster designs, they look different. They look different. They look unique. They're very unique monster designs. I think in terms of, like, the character, like I said, in terms of the character concepts, in terms of the character designs, like I said, the main character was the one that stood out for me. There's also a guy, like, at the beginning of the episode, where he's telling Itadori that, basically you're gonna be executed. His eyes are basically wrapped. That's probably the worst description, but y'all know who I'm talking about. I'll probably just put him on screen, put a picture of this dude on screen. His eyes are basically covered. I like his design, I guess, and the monsters and stuff, but, like, overall, I don't think I'm a fan. I think this is one, like I said, it's personal preference, because, like I said earlier, it's kind of a personal preference. You're either gonna like certain character designs or not, that's fine. But I think just in general, I don't think I'm a big fan of this art style, and I think that's another similarity that I kind of saw, or that I kind of had going in with like God of High School, just like comparing the two shows that are also produced by this same studio. And it's something about the art style. It might be something about the art style that just makes the designs look so just kind of plain. So like outside of those two characters, like nothing else really like outside of those two characters and then like the monsters, I don't think anything else really kind of like stood out for me. But just kind of, I guess at the end of the day, this wasn't as bad. Well, it it was okay. I guess is the best way that I can kind of sum up like my overall feelings on the first episode. It was an okay first episode. I wasn't blown away by it. I wasn't impressed by it. It was just okay. As much as people hyped up this show, it didn't blow me away with this first episode. And there have been many shows recently that have blown me away in this first episode. And I'll give you one example right now. Tower of God. Tower of God, another show that is exclusive to Crunchyroll. I saw that trailer. I was impressed by the art in that, the music, everything. It looked interesting. The first episode blew me away. This one, Jujutsu Kaisen, didn't really blow me away. And I don't think God of War. I don't think God of High School. I don't think God of High School is gonna do that for me either. And I honestly think, and I'll admit this, that, going into this after watching the trailer, like I said, I wasn't really planning on watching this, mainly because it just didn't look interesting to me. I did kind of feel some similarities. Like, I did kind of think, like, going in that maybe this could be, like, Blue Exorcist. It could be, like, I think Soul Eater would be a terrible comparison, I'm sure. There's this other show that I'm thinking of. I can't think of the name of it. Like I have a picture of it in my head. I can't remember the name of it, but this show reminds me of something that I've watched before. And something tells me that if I stick with it, that maybe it'll at least be a decent show at the end of the day. And it won't be one of those shows where I'm like, oh man, this is just terrible. Like da 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 da. I'm not gonna really go on the. I'm not gonna really I wouldn't like bash it. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like I wouldn't bash it at the end of the day, but I don't think it deserves the hype, and unless something like really big happens. Like I said, I'm gonna give it another shot. Probably next week, maybe. But so far, what I saw was just okay. I don't see what the big deal is about this so far. And again, it's just the first episode. Like I said, it did a pretty decent job of laying out the laying out the lore, setting up the characters and stuff. I guess, but overall, I wasn't impressed by it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Subscribe for more reviews and stuff. Honestly, the only reason I had and this is just before I go ahead and close this thing out, but the only reason I even had a Crunchyroll account was to watch Burn the Witch, and so I saw that this was going to be on, and I was like, well, let me go to check it out. And so I might end up doing a video on Burn the Witch too, maybe. But this, I don't know, man. I don't know. It just seemed kind of middle of the road, just okay. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. This has been Fear No Hate. I'm out of here. Peace.